O Allah, guide me among those whom Thou hast guided aright, and preserve me among those whom Thou hast preserved, and befriend me among those whom Thou hast befriended. Bless me in whatsoever Thou dost grant me, and deliver me from the evil of what Thou hast judged. Surely Thou judgest, and none can judge against Thee, and he whom Thou befriendest is not disgraced. Blessed art Thou, O Lord, and exalted be Thee above what they set up besides Thee. I bear witness, nothing deserves to be served besides Thee, and I bear witness that Muhammad is Thy servant and apostle. Amen.
Greetings, conscious entrepreneurs. You now can take the Mind of an Entrepreneur show wherever you go. I'm now available on Spotify. Just search Sajdah Wendy Muhammad. This is Sister Sajdah Muhammad. We are proud to announce that the Sajdah House commemorative Elijah coins are finally here. As we renovate and restore the former home of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, we have recycled the old copper gutters and downspouts and created a 1-ounce 39mm coin made of 100% pure copper. Each coin is professionally graded and has its own barcode and registration number. This priceless heirloom, made from recycled copper from the messenger's home, is now available at sajdahhouse.com.
You belong to yourself. You're an independent people, created from the nation of free people. Yes, sir. You don't need to go nowhere but to yourself. Yes, sir. There will be a great separation. Yes, sir. So I said it is on now.
The college is meant to prepare you for your future. That the time dictates that if we don't do something for ourselves as a people, we will be destroyed. And the aim of the enemy right now is to take us out.
We have God with us. We have Him as our guide. Yes, sir. We don't have to stand around here and ask the question, what must be done? Yes, sir. Get up and let's go and do something. Yes, sir. We cannot sit down. We cannot lay down. Yes, sir. We must get up. Yes, sir. And go to work.
Do you know what real joy is in life? Visioning something and bringing it into reality. That's real joy. Do you know what the next step in joy is? Behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell in unity.
Tonight, you need to fasten your seatbelts. We're going to hear from some of the greatest minds in the world. I don't know about about you, but I'm tired of trusting our future and the future of our children into the hands of those who don't love us. I believe we need to revitalize black leadership.
Assalamu alaikum, family. Peace and blessings. Good morning, grand rising to everyone here in the chat, everyone that's listening, that's not in the chat. I see y'all got it popping this morning. I want to introduce you all to something. We're going to do a little bit of a interactive thing this morning. I'm going to introduce you to a song that I've listened to every morning, maybe for the last 30 years. It's actually my alarm clock. And so one of the things that I do in the morning is I meditate to this song. And it's a song that is sung by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I do it because I love to calibrate myself to that energy. And so I want us to take a moment this morning to calibrate ourselves to the love that is in this song. And it's so important. I'm going to come back afterwards and we're going to just talk about how you feel afterwards. We're going to talk about how important it is to calibrate ourselves to that love, especially in an insane world that doesn't want people to do better by themselves, an insane world that doesn't want folks to own businesses. I'm talking about Black folks that got issues with us for no reason. It's insanity. And since you can't make sense of crazy, you got to just let the crazy people be the crazy people, right? I did a show on my radio show, a talk on my radio show, where I talked about Black people have to be the only people in the world whose success creates insanity in other people, even in our own people. You start getting a certain measure of success and people around you start going crazy. Well, instead of trying to fight against the insanity, instead of trying to make sense of crazy, we have to calibrate ourselves to a plan, calibrate ourselves to something that works. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to take myself off the screen. And I want us to spend the next 7 minutes, just close your eyes and listen and feel, allow the love that's in this song to reverberate throughout your body. Whether you are in the nation or not, calibrate yourself to this type of love, okay? And I'll be right back.
This is the world we've waited for 400 years. This is the one who's here to wipe away all our tears. This is the one who's here to comfort you and me, to guide us into freedom, justice, and equality. Before we met him, we were deaf, dumb, and blind, searching everywhere to find the peace of mind. This man opened up our blinded eyes, made we wisdom to become wise. All praise is due to our Savior Allah for giving us Elijah Muhammad, our messenger. This great man unstopped our deaf ears, from our heart removed every atom of fear, unloosened the knots in our tongue. We now can talk has given us a new lease on life. Taught us how to love and respect and protect our wife. He has taught us how to bathe 5 times a day. That many times he's taught us to pray. All praise is due to our Savior Allah for giving us Elijah Muhammad, our messenger. This great man even taught us how to be grown. He said, stop begging the white man. Let's get something of our own. But the greatest thing he's given to you and me is the religion of peace, love and unity. He has made us recognize ourselves as sister and brother. Now we just as soon live or die for each other. He has given us a flag, sun, moon, and stars, the greatest in the universe, best by far. All praise is due to our Savior Allah for giving us Elijah Muhammad, our messenger. Dear Holy Apostle, we would like to say to you, there is nothing in the world that we wouldn't do for you. We realize your love and your sacrifice. Cost can never be too great. You already paid the price. To Allah, we offer this prayer to guide and protect you every day of the year. All of you we rely, all of you we depend. We're gonna follow you every day. All praise is due to our Savior Allah. For giving you to us, Elijah. As our messenger.
How are y'all feeling? Let me know in the chat how you guys are feeling. Give y'all a little hint. That's our theme song for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House. And it's been a theme song for my life since I was 22, 23 years old. Sister Anissa said a wonderful verbal expression of our feelings for the messenger and the minister. You know, so every morning, excuse my scratchy throat. I was worried about my scratchy throat. I went and grabbed a COVID test and came back negative, and my scratchy throat stayed. And I said, let me go get another one, and it came back negative. So I think I've probably just been talking too much. So yesterday, you guys didn't see me on social media or around, and I wanted to just really be quiet and reflect. Wednesday night, if you all were on the business meeting that we had, you saw the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan bless me by calling me into his presence on the stage. And interestingly enough, that day when I woke up, I woke up to that song, and then I usually begin to prepare myself for my meditation. I listen to that song and just kind of calibrate myself. And as soon as I finish with my meditative sort of calibration technique, my solar plexus started to churn very hard, and to the point where it was a little painful. And I said, uh-oh, something's going on. And then it was coupled with the buzz in my head, very similar to the physical feeling that I had when I had the vision of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And so that went on all day. And I literally was trying to ignore it. So I had back-to-back calls that day, back-to-back Zoom meeting. I was even on Brother Ben X's podcast, and we talked about the science of doing for self. And we had this really great conversation about real estate and all of this stuff. And during that whole podcast, I was fighting that feeling because it just started to get to the point where I couldn't ignore it any longer. And I was so busy that I was thinking, I don't know if I'm going to make it to the meeting. I don't think I can make it. I'm so busy and I don't know what I'm feeling. And so I was just trying to reflect on it. And I think a little concerned. And Sister Wazira, shout out to Sister Wazira. She had called me earlier that day. And I was so busy, I didn't get a chance to answer her and hadn't called her back yet. And so when I got off of Brother Ben X's podcast, I called her back. And she's like, oh, are you on your way to the meeting? And I was like, I don't know. So much is going on. And I didn't say to her how I was feeling because I just didn't know what was happening. And she said, no, you got to go ahead and come. And I said, well, what time? And then as I was talking to her, and she was talking about coming to the business meeting, and even if you're late, you should just get there. And then I got like that churn or that pang again in my stomach and the buzz in my head, and I lost track for a second of what she was saying. And then those few seconds, it's like time travel, right? You lose track for like 3 or 4 seconds. It feels like minutes, but it's really just like 3 or 4 seconds. And I said, you know what? I said, let me get dressed. I'm on my way. And I would have been sick as a dog if he had called my name and called me up and I wasn't there. And so I'm grateful to her. I'm grateful for Allah using her to push me at that moment, because I thought something was happening. I was just going to go lay down. I was like, something's up, something's going on. But all praise is due to Allah. And so I'm grateful for it. And so I say to you all that, yeah, it definitely was divine intervention. Allah definitely wanted it, and he knew I needed that boost. He probably was trying to connect with me all day, but I was caught up in what I was doing, and I wasn't really listening. I knew something was going on, but I wasn't really listening like I should have been. Generally, what I do is when I get that feeling, I will go through like meditation series. I'll just stop in the middle of the day, get quiet, do a meditation, and generally, excuse me, I'll get whatever it is that I'm supposed to get. In this case, I didn't stop. I just kept going. And so anyway, so all praise is due to Allah, for people who, excuse me, allow themselves to be used. And all praise is due to Allah for those of us that can hear those of us that hear those that Allah uses. So thank you. Praise be to Allah. He called me up. I honestly don't really know everything that was said. Inshallah, I'll get a clip of just that portion. There were a lot of important things said during that meeting. And inshallah, just that little clip that while I was standing there, I can get a copy of it so I can know more of what he said. Generally, when I'm in his presence or having a conversation with him, I just kind of let him have me. And so whatever programming Allah desires or whatever he desires at that moment, I'm not resisting it with conversation with myself. So I shut down myself. So the conversations that generally we have with ourselves, the way we're sometimes justifying ourselves or just talking to ourselves when a person is in our presence, and we're either listening to respond or we're listening to go do something afterwards. None of which is bad. Everybody has their own way. I'm just telling you my experience. What I try to do is release myself so that I'm not having that internal dialogue while I'm in his presence or talking to him. And that way I submit to the programming and allow him to reprogram and read me, if it be the will of Allah. And then the words or the energy will correct or adjust or help me in whatever it is that I'm doing. So if you all notice, I did not move. It was like, I'm not moving until he tell me to move. If my feet start hurting, I'm just going to leave my body for a minute because I'm not moving. And that's just me. That's just my approach. And so every morning when I listen to that song, I practice doing the same thing. And sometimes it's a long song. It's 7 minutes. And so sometimes I start to drift and think about something else. Then I make myself listen to it over again. And I've gotten pretty good where now 1 or 2 takes, I completely let myself go. But there are times when I have to listen to it 10 times in order to just let myself go. So anyway, that's just something I wanted to share with you all this morning. I try to share my experiences because be it the will of Allah, they will help someone else. And help me in the process, because at the end of the day, we're not trophies. We have to get over, excuse me. We have to get over our intoxication with attention from one another. it's interesting because we get in these small social groups and especially those of us a lot of times in religious circles, we get in these space where a lot of what we do and the way we validate ourselves is based on how much attention we get from one another. And so one of the things I try to do is to not seek the attention of other people, but to seek the favor of God. And in seeking the favor of God, what that means is that it then is my job to share how he interacts with me with other people. So in whatever way that I can give, and those of you in the chat, if you know me, you know that if there's anything that I can do to help somebody with their career, mainly it's with business, doing for self, then I'm always there to do that. If you say to me, hey, I have this desire to whatever, buy a car, buy a house, open a business, have a successful relationship, whatever it is, then I will give of myself to do what I can to give you of my experiences, something that may help you. And so some of my friends joke around and they call it an exorcism. So it's a little joke where they'll say, okay, let me call you so I can, and it's not really that, it's just our joke. And the reason why we call it that is because I just give it to you as I may see it. And so my goal is to be an asset and to be of value and to be worthy of the multitude of blessings that I receive on a consistent basis, and to encourage you all to do the same. This is so important. Not only is it important because we have to make God the most important thing in our life. It don't mean that we don't have fun. It don't mean that we don't laugh. It don't mean that we ain't still cute. None of that. But here's an example. When I listen to that song, for example, and I hear the minister talking about all that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad desires for us, it makes me realize the insanity of people who oppose him. And what do I mean by that? And oppose doesn't mean that you have to agree with everything. Maybe there's some stuff you just don't get. Maybe there's some stuff you just ain't feeling. But if you have a man or a person who comes to a people and says, listen, let me tell you who you are. And let me tell you who your connection is, how you're connected to God. And let me tell you who God is. And then let me tell you how to conduct yourself. Let me tell you how to eat. Let me tell you what dietary program you need to be on to get yourself off of all this medication, to help you cure yourself from diabetes and high blood pressure. The pandemic that was before the pandemic, where we've been losing hundreds of thousands of people every year to those risk factors related to cardiovascular disease. He says, let me teach you. Let me show you. Let me show you how to conduct yourself. Let me show you, Black man, how to treat your wife. Let me show you, Black woman, how to treat your man. Let me build respect among you. Let me show you how to open a business. Let me show you how to be respectful of authority. Let me show you how to change your life. Let me show you how to treat other people, even if they're people who don't like you. He didn't say we getting ready to start a war. He didn't say, oh yeah, by the way, these people been abusing us for 400 years. We about to go do something to them. He didn't tell us to kill him. He ain't telling us to do anything violent. In fact, about it, he told us you shouldn't even carry as much as a penknife. Why would you oppose a man like that? You may not agree with the tactics, but you would have to be insane. You would have to be insane to oppose somebody who's telling a people that, we got social media and television now. You can see the level of abuse and the level of deviation and how crazy we are. But you got somebody coming and giving a holistic approach on how you can improve your life and get yourself up out of slavery. Then that means to me that any opposition has to be insanity. Why are you insane? You're insane because you are opposing something that makes logical sense. This is before we get into economy and superiority and all of that. Why wouldn't you want people in the society that you live next to, around, that you drive past every day, to be better citizens of the community, to be examples of civilization? Why wouldn't you want that? Why would you oppose that? And why would you join forces with somebody who opposes that? Because you have to be crazy. And nobody can make sense of crazy. You're insane. You're insane to say, no, I want those people to keep being abused. I want them to keep killing each other. I want them to keep hurting themselves. I want them to keep dying. And I know some of y'all are saying, well, it's all about the money. That's still insanity. It's still insanity. And any of our people or any other people who oppose the upliftment and the betterment of other men and women on the planet that inhabit the planet with them, you got to be crazy. And so my approach is that we're not going to try to make sense of crazy. You're crazy. You got something wrong with you. So what am I going to focus on? I'm not even getting ready to spend, if I got 10 hours in a day, I'm not getting ready to spend 8 of it talking about a crazy person. I'm going to check the box and go, this person's nuts. Now, I know they're nuts. So that means I need a different energy level, a different vibrational level to deal with this crazy person. And what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to give them more attention than I give a plan for my redevelopment and my civilization and my upliftment. So you're not going to get that out of me. If I got 10 hours in a day, you're not getting 8 of it. I might spend an hour. I may look at the news and see something crazy that you've done. But I'm not, you know what? And people know me, know that I'm like that. I don't think that crazy person is worth it. Do we have to incorporate and pay attention from a strategic standpoint because crazy people are always trying to get at you? Absolutely. But are they getting ready to get more time than the plan of God? No, you're not. I'll give you an example. My business partner, Dr. Dormu, he knows that I'm like that. I remember when George Floyd was murdered and it was broadcast all over the news. And I was in Chicago at the time and he was in Maryland. And he texted me. He calls me Winnie. He said, hey, Winnie, don't look at the news. Don't turn it on. Don't look at nothing. When is your flight? And I said, oh, I'm coming back in the morning. And he said, okay, I'll tell you what's going on. He said, when you get to the airport, don't even look at the news. And that was such a special moment for me because I realized and appreciate his respect for how I work to conduct my life. And so his thing was, he said, I don't want you to disrupt your vibration by looking at this. He said, I'm going to tell you about it in the morning. And so I went to bed that night. I didn't turn on the television. I didn't even look at social media. I got up that morning, got on the flight. I didn't look at the plane in the airport. I just, I got on there. I put my earbuds on. I looked at something else. And I landed and I went straight from the airport to the office. And when I got to the office, he walked in and he closed the door and he sat down and he said, they murdered a black man, and it's been all over the news. And he says, and I just didn't want you to see it. And I said, all right. And so to this day, I have not watched it. And so I just appreciate it. And his words were, he said, it's enough of us who've seen it. He said, it's enough of us that have a different role in life. You know, he considers himself a serious warrior, especially as a surgeon and saving so many people. He said, it's enough of us that have a different role that you don't have to take on that role. Don't even look at it. And so I didn't look at it. And so I'm grateful to have friends around me like that who respect how I am and who I am. And so I didn't, he shared it with me. He shared it in such a way that I didn't really have to look at it. And so what I did was, when I was looking at television and different things during that time, I would turn it off if they started to, you know, you see the scene coming up, and I would just shut it off. But yeah, I was grateful that he protected my spirit that way, and that Allah put it in him to, you know, to catch me before I saw it. Because, and he jokes about it to this day. He's like, no, I'm thinking Winnie O over there meditating and praying to the minister's song. She don't need to know about this. And so I'm grateful, you know, very, very grateful for that. So anyway, I see y'all in the chat, chatting it up, talking. What time is it? Okay, so we got about 15, 20 more minutes. If you guys have any questions you want to ask me, you can put those in the chat. I would appreciate it. But what I want you to get from this message today is, one, don't calibrate yourself to insane people. See, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan that he would get us safely to the other side on his shoulders. And he will not say, look at what I have done. He will say, look at what Allah has done. Now, if he says, I'm going to get you safely to the other side, he's going to get us safely to the other side on his shoulders. What does that mean? That don't mean all 4,400,000,000 of us, we can't fit on his shoulders. So we have to calibrate ourselves to the highest vibration that he offers us. His defense, I really pay attention to when he comes out and he's talking to us about the enemy, about what's going on. It's like a warning. It's like we're riding on his shoulders and he's saying, don't go that way. Go this way. And so our job is to go where he tells us to go, and to stay from where he tells us to stay from. He didn't say get up off of his shoulders and go the way he's telling you not to go and go argue and bark at the danger. A lot of us get off the shoulders and we just barking at danger. And he done went on down the road, but we still stuck over here arguing and barking at the danger, at the enemy. And we're lucky if we're able to catch up. So don't calibrate yourself to the danger. Calibrate yourself to the love. Calibrate yourself to the mother of it all, which is Master Father Muhammad's love for us, the messenger's love for him, and the minister's love for the messenger. All of their loves for us. And the plan they put in place. See, because let me tell you something, nothing else is working today. You're dealing with an insane person, insane people who have been converted to insanity. I didn't say converted to Christianity. I didn't say converted to Islam. I didn't say converted to Buddhism. They're converted to the religion of insanity. Well, we can murder somebody, kill somebody just like that. Somebody trying to do something for themselves, we can hate on them and try to hurt them just like that. We will do whatever we can. We'll destroy somebody just to get attention. Many of us have been converted to the religion of insanity. So we have to stop that. You got to calibrate yourself to the mother love. Stop talking about this crazy white man, this crazy Negro, this crazy person. Stop dealing with them. Protect yourself by calibrating yourself to the love. Let them be crazy. Let them be crazy. And you release yourself and let yourself go to the love so you'll know what direction to go in. You'll know what direction to stay from. You'll hear the call to prayer or the call to worship instead of the call to insanity. Because by ourselves, we can't whoop them no way. We're going to need the help of Almighty God Allah, right? To help us win this battle. So you keep being a civilized person. You keep being a good person. You keep doing what you know you're supposed to do. There's a whole list of ways in which we conduct ourselves. You keep eating to live. You keep thinking the right thoughts, but don't calibrate yourself to this insanity. If you got an hour in the day, do not give the religion of insanity 45 minutes. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't feast on that. Some of us, that's all we talk about. Oh, you see this? I turn on the news, and then somebody will say, "Oh, did you see the news today? Did you see what they did? Do you look for God in anything? Do you look for the love in anything? Where's Allah in all of this?" See, that's what we have to be looking for. I don't care what you see. You got to say, where is Allah? Allah, where are you in this? Calibrate me to your purpose, because we know that you are the best knower. We know that you are in charge. Why did you allow this? What are we doing? What should we be doing? Where are you, Allah? That's the question we should be answering instead of chewing and regurgitating over the negativity and the insanity, because guess what's going to happen? You're going to cut off your connection with the source because you just ain't vibrating at the right level. And like I said, don't forget, those of you who've taken my emotional intelligence class, awareness is the mother of emotional intelligence. So yes, awareness is there, but we're not dwelling in it. We're not calibrating ourselves to it. We're not overly focused on it. Because whatever is dominant in your conversation, and I don't care how much deceptive intelligence you use, you say, well, I'm just talking about this because I'm just making a statement. Well, you're making the statement too much. You've made the statement so much that your vibration has changed. And when you change your vibration, now guess what? The lens through which you see the world has now changed. Your eyesight ain't nothing but vibration of light. Your voice is vibration. The thoughts are vibration. You've changed all of that. You've changed the way you see yourself. You changed the way you see God. You changed the way you see your family because of the constant thoughts of insanity that you are entertaining on a day-to-day basis. And don't get me wrong, it's hard. It's very difficult. Some of us have been abused. Some of us come from very difficult backgrounds. But again, we have to keep saying, Allah, where are you? Where are you? How can I use this that has happened to me to elevate myself and be an example for somebody else? If you don't do nothing but become successful, if you come out of an abusive household and somebody sees you and you're successful, and that next person that's in an abusive household and says, man, look at her, look at him. If he can do it, I can do it. Then you're doing your job. But if you keep having those same negative thoughts and comments and conversations, you're sitting down with a person, you're going to counseling, Y'all regurgitating the old stuff over and over again. You getting with your friends. You tell your friends what y'all talked about in counseling. You regurgitating it over and over again. You reading books about what happened to you. You regurgitating it over and over and over again. Next thing you know, 80, 90, almost 100% of your life is calibrated or entrenched by or entrenched in the negativity or the insanity. What else do you think about? What's positive about it? Where is Allah? What do I do next? How do I become the best version of myself? Ask a prayer. What's your goal? Allah, I want to be a businesswoman because I want to go around the world and show your way of being in the world of business to other people. Allah, I want to be a singer because I want to change the vibration of the world through music. And I'm going to continue to be a conduit for you so that you can flow through me. I want to be an artist because I want to create art that vibrates with you. So people who are caught up in this insane world can see, just get a break by vibrating to you when they look at my art. See, this is what we have to be thinking through. Not over and over and over again, this is how I'm abused. This is what happened to me. Because if it's already happened, there's nothing you can do about it. If it's happening now, you need to be fixing your brain so you can get yourself up out of it. So all you got to do is change your thoughts. Once you start changing your thoughts, then the way you look at things change. The things around you start to change. All right, y'all. Anyway, calibrate yourself. That's a beautiful song to calibrate yourself to. I do it every morning. It's part of my meditative process. Let's see what y'all saying in the chat. Sister Marva said, insanity is the religion and the distraction is the practice. Yeah, that's right, sis. Sister Anissa said, taking a hard pass on the religion of insanity. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. The religion of insanity. Yes, yes, yes. Stay on their shoulders, the master, the leader, and the teacher for us. Today's time. Yes, yes, and yes. Thank you, sis. Thank you. Feasting on negativity. We need to get up out of that. That's exactly right. Yeah. All right. Okay, y'all. So peace and blessings. Listen, I pray you all are going out and getting your commemorative Elijah coins that the minister talks so beautifully about on Wednesday night. You just have to go to sajdahhouse.com. There are, I think, maybe 7 pendants left. So if you don't have a pendant, you got to hurry up and get one. We have quite a few of the graded coins left, which is great because you're going to need these coins. Let me show y'all what we're talking about here. These are the pendants. I hope you can see them. This is the chain that I had on that the minister held. So this is the pendant. And so there's probably like 7 or 8 of these left. So you go to sajdahhouse.com. You can get that. There's a link on my Instagram to the pendants. And then we have the graded coins. We have quite a few of these left. These are the most valuable ones. Let me see. Let me answer this. Sis says, sorry to say I tell my friends to seek a therapist. I can't help you and I don't want to hear your problems. I'm too busy building well. Yeah, seeking a therapist is important. So I thank you for putting that up, sis, because I don't want to say that I'm saying that seeking a therapist is bad, because therapy is good and a lot of us are doing it. I'm just against regurgitating your problems over and over and over again and taking yourself to that vibration, because your brain doesn't know the difference between it actually happening and whether or not you're making it happen in your mind. And here's an example. When you have a dream, if you dream that you're being chased down the street, you could be laying in your bed, but as you're running in your dream, as you're chasing, your heart rate is up, you're sweating, you could literally have a heart attack just through the dream. But you ain't being chased, you laying in the bed. So your body doesn't know the difference. And so I'm against therapy that makes you regurgitate what you've been through over and over again. I'm all about therapy that helps you raise your awareness and helps you create a plan of action and gives you tools so that you can navigate through and around what happened to you and refocus on another way of being, another way of thinking, another way of life. That's what I like about therapy. I'm not a big fan of therapy where people just go week after week and week after week. And I know people who have done that week after week after week, and they just talk about what's negative, talk about what's happened to them over and over and over again. I'm not a fan of that because I believe that in those conversations, you're reliving it, your body's reliving it, your cellular structure's reliving it, your brain's reliving it, your thoughts are reliving it. You need a therapy, something that's going to help you get a plan of action, give you tools to overcome your triggers, and show you what to focus on so you can move your life to the very next level. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So back to these coins. These are the commemorative Elijah coin, the graded coins. These were made from the copper or of the copper from the messenger's home. So I took the copper, we melted it down at 1,983 degrees Fahrenheit, created a mold and poured this, had them graded by international coin graders. There's a special code on the back that if you have this coin, you're going to be needing it for your membership when we get ready to launch the membership model. What does that mean? You'll get extra benefits. You'll get a discount on an upgraded membership model with the graded coin. Okay. And these graded coins are the ones that will appreciate the most over time. Okay. All right. So with that, family, thank you for listening today. Thank you for your support. And have a happy Saturday. Do something nice for somebody today. Find somebody that you can I don't care if you don't have a lot of money. I'm not talking about giving somebody something. I'm talking about smile at somebody today. Open the door for somebody today. Call somebody and give them a good word today. Tell somebody you love them today. Do something good for somebody today. Show some love and care and compassion and support for someone in your life or around you today. All right. That's important. It's so important. So with that, family, I will see you all, inshallah, on Wednesday for the Mind of an Entrepreneur show, the Mo Today series on Black Muslim businesses. I don't know who our guest is going to be. Shout out to my little sis, Rahima, who helps me with the show. Find out what she's got planned for us. She's really like the show producer. And so I'm so grateful for her. All right, family, peace and blessings. Let's see. I see 2 more comments in the chat. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, I will take care of my throat. I just been talking too much. And so I got to get it together. I'm going to be quiet for a little while. Because what I've been doing is as soon as I see it getting better, I start talking more. And that's not the proper way to do it. But inshallah, it'll be fine. All right. So I will talk to you all soon. And please, again, like I said, get your commemorative Elijah coin and do something nice for somebody today.